Hey everyone, it's me, Nathan from Nathan's Way. I have an update. My dog Memphis isn't doing too well. He's going to need a lot of my attention, and he needs me right now. But I'm not gonna give up on Pride Month. I am gonna be posting videos, and not be as much as I want, but they will happen. If need be, I will extend it till July and keep it going until however long need be. My dog needs me right now. That's the bottom line. Okay, so on to a little bit better news. I do have a giveaway. You can click this info bar up there, or up there, one of the sides, up in the corners, and you can watch the video, or you can click the link below. You can watch the video and see how to enter. It's going to be full of witchy punk rock queerness, a lot of queerness, and I am so proud of it. So yeah. So today's topic, it's going to be part of my new Shadowy Bit series, or Shadow Bit series, and it's going to dive into topics that I tend to suppress, or thoughts or memories I try to suppress to bring to light so I can help myself move forward. Now, today's topic is internal homophobia and toxic masculinity. And yes, I'm going to be diving in deep. Probably not as deep as my last take on this video, because I feel like it got a little too rambly and a little here and there. But I figure I'll give it another try. Now, there is a quote that I want to share with you. I found this quote on Instagram. I follow TJ Osborne, who just came out in the country music world, and he posted this quote from another queer country artist, who I don't know if it's his quote or someone's quote. It's someone's quote. So I'll leave the full quote down below, plus a link to it. So the quote goes, "Queer people don't grow up as ourselves. We grow up playing a version of ourselves that sacrifices authenticity to minimize humiliation and prejudice. The massive task in our adult lives is to unpick which parts of ourselves are truly and which parts we created to protect ourselves." That was a quote I saw this morning that was very heavy, and it struck home for me, because when I was 15, when I was even 14, I internalized this homophobia because I didn't know what was going on with me. I didn't know anything. The term queer or gay didn't even reach my radar until I reached high school. It might be because I was naive. It might be because I never knew what the word actually meant. But it's something that has affected me, that I want to dig deep in. Now, toxic masculinity. Toxic masculinity was a shield I put on myself to deflect my own queerness, to deflect a lot of things that were potentially aiming my way. I'm not saying I was right. I'm not saying I wasn't healthy. This is what a scared 15-year-old version of myself felt he needed to do in order to survive a small town high school. So my internalized homophobia started when I was first discovering who I was. Because I was getting conflicting messages. I was getting conflicted messages from my health class, from the church I was attending, to society's pressures, to what I wanted. So you can only imagine what all that stress is like. Not to mention adding the social pressures of going to school daily, having to deal with society and the people in the school, having to do homework, having to learn, educate, and all that fun stuff, having the pressures of a high schooler, plus adding this confusion about sexuality or gender identity or anything, is a lot of pressure, and a lot of people go through it. Some people take it in stride and some people don't. I internalized it. I remember me not wanting to be gay. I remember me trying my hardest to pray the gay away, or to force myself to watch heteronormative adult films that I wasn't supposed to at the time, to cure this. When I was 15, I was doing my own type of conversion therapy. I didn't even know what conversion therapy was. I didn't know anything. All I knew at the time, that being gay, or these feelings that I was feeling at the time, wasn't normal, or it wasn't society's norm, or it wasn't socially acceptable. Now, as a 15-year-old, trying to comprehend what everyone thinks, plus your own thoughts, it takes a toll. It really does. And you internalize it. You internalize the hate, the self-hate, the self-loathing. You internalize is everything. I mean, the way my brain worked was I overanalyzed everything. I overthought everything. And not to mention having the normal pressures of a high schooler, plus dealing with your sexuality and or gender identity, is not necessarily the most healthiest thing. And so what I did was I did a lot of deflecting. I did a lot of things that were probably unhealthy, but at the time I felt they were necessary. Let's just say I owe a lot of people an apology. I don't know how to contact most of those people, but let's just say I owe a lot of people an apology. It was a survival instinct. It was me trying to survive high school with the least amount of damage mentally as possible. Now, did mental damage happen? Yes, it happened. Did I cause mental damage to other people? Yes. I will say that. Now, I've tried to, when I was in high school, I tried to suppress these feelings. I tried to snuff them out. I tried everything I could, because I thought that this is not the life I wanted, or this is not the life I chose. And I was right. It's not the life I chose. No one can choose this life. I mean, I guess you can, but no one can healthily choose not to be themselves. So yeah, that was a lot of pressure for a 15-year-old, and yeah, I was a very lost kid. I was depressed. I didn't want to do anything, and I didn't want to be in school. All I wanted to do was hang out with my friends, listen to music, bury myself in a hoodie, and fall asleep whenever I could. That is it. I didn't want to have to deal with society. And my 15-year-old self, that is how he functioned to survive. Oh, okay. So, deflecting. Deflection. Let's talk about that. That's a whole heavy topic, and it kind of goes into toxic masculinity. So, when I was in high school, I would always have my headphones on, and I was always buried in my hoodie, because that is how I felt safe. That is it. I felt safe doing that. Now, at the time, the whole "that's gay" or "you're gay" or "gay this" or "gay that" was thrown around constantly. It was like the new trend. So there was a time where calling each other the gay slur was a thing. There was a time where everyone said "that's gay" or "you're gay" or "everything's gay," this, that, and I used it. I weaponized it to deflect. I used those terms. I used those phrases to deflect what people have labeled me. Like, I remember at times where I was getting shit on, and I just remembers like, oh, that person over there is like, he's a lot worse than me, or like something, and I would deflect all that grief and bullying onto someone else. Now, that probably caused a lot of people a great deal of hurt, and I need to apologize to those people. Yeah, it was messed up. I'm not proud of myself, but not to excuse it, this was a 15-year-old version of myself doing all this. Yeah, and it was not his proudest moments, even then. Now, toxic masculinity. So, when I was in high school, I used my hoodie as an escape mechanism. I used my headphones as a way to escape. I used my I just used what I had on me, and masculinity was something that I wore like a jacket. I would like masculinize my mannerisms. I would mask up, there we go, mask up my voice to make it sound a lot more masculine. And it was a thing. I wore it like I wore it like a shield. And anyone who dared to threaten it, I would deflect onto them. And yeah, it was brutal. I grew up in a small town where there were probably only, well, statistically there were more gay people, but there were a lot more feminine students there, more feminine than me. And I hit it. I don't know if I hit it well, but I hit it. And when it came to them, I had so much disdain. Not necessarily, yeah, disdain, hate, yeah. Looking back, it's kind of ironic. I told myself I hate, but yet I was hating on these people. All because they were feminine and threatening me and threatening outing me. And I did not like that at all. And some of them were in my friend circle, and I remember just rolling my eyes or leaving the room when they got there, or just removing myself from the group space when they arrived. I was not a healthy kid. I really wasn't. I couldn't deal with it back then, because the one person who I knew, the only other person I knew that was gay in my school, like 100% gay, he was feminine. And I just remember distancing myself as far away as I could. Yeah. I remember I was at a campfire where this kid showed up, and another flamboyant kid from my school showed up. And I remember removing myself from that situation when one of my other friends, he went to another area for a smoke, and I remember distinctly telling him, I can't deal with them two in the same room together. Their voices annoy the hell out of me. Their voices. Something they cannot control. And the person agreed with me and made fun of it. And at the time, I was out. I think it was closer to senior year. I was out to my friends, and I took pride in being like this masculine queer, and being that token queer that wasn't flamboyant and just eyed rolled, giving my hetero friends a way to disapprove of someone else for the way they express themselves or how they talk. And I'm not proud of that at all. But that is what fear caused me to do. I had to wear it. I wore it proud back then. Like it was a shield. I could deflect any situation onto them. Yeah. At the time, it took me a while. It took me a while to adjust. And I thought feminine guys or feminine queers gave the gay scene or the gay community a bad name. I actually thought that. Yeah. That is some homophobic shit right there that I was thinking. Not cool. Okay, so where does this all come to? Well, let's get to me accepting everything, accepting my queerness. Now, being gay is something I did not fully accept until probably senior year, where I just said, oh, fuck it, and just let it all out. And yeah, it was healthy, but I feel like I went about it the wrong way. I did the best I could with the little I had, and yeah, it was a thing. So when I came out, I still had to deal with my toxic masculinity and inner homophobia, because in my head, it was the femmes who were giving the rest of the gays a bad name. Yeah, right. And yeah, it took me a while to deprogram that thought, that theory. Where did it come from? Well, I never had examples of that. I suppressed a lot of things. I mean, I wore nail polish and eyeliner all throughout high school while pulling this bullshit. Yeah. Where does my 15-year-old self get the nerve, or had the nerve, to think that way? Yeah. That kid was lost. Now, acceptance. Where did I accept all this parts of myself? Well, I don't think it was until I got out of high school and into a real environment outside of that where it was okay, where I saw more diversity, where I saw the kids that I grew up with fail. Like all the assholes that I didn't get along with, they either failed or moved away, and they were no longer a part of my life. So that stress and that boulder was released. And now, where do I end up dismantling my toxic masculinity? Well, there were a few things. It was me seeing that there are a lot of different types of people out there. There's a lot of diverse people, and it is okay. People cannot change themselves, or they can't change what they truly are. People can't help being feminine. People can't help being queer. People cannot help being trans. They are who they are. Or non-binary. They are who they are. And suppressing that is not okay. And when you do suppress it, you get so much toxic bullshit in your life. It's unhealthy. And it will drive you to dark places. So many places where I saw people be who they are were at pride events, they were at shows I went to, they were everywhere when Pulse happened not too long ago. That was a key fundamental that finally completely destroyed that protective barrier I put on myself of masculinity. During Pulse, I spent a lot of time with the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, helping with their fundraising and seeing their community outreach. And the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, they were drag nuns who are I think they are a wonderful group of people who help others in need, who help their community, who reach out. And it's the most beautiful thing ever. Now, do I still have triggers that I need to work on? Yeah. Do I still have masculinity I need to break down? Yeah, I do. But I wouldn't be where I'm at if that troubled kid didn't walk his life. Because I'm not excusing any of this bullshit I pulled. I'm not excusing any of this, the damage I caused to other people, the mental illness I caused to other people because of what? Protecting myself? Yeah. I survived. They survived. Mentally, I don't know. For myself, I'm still working on my mental health. But I feel that with all this stuff I just talked about, it's going to be a long process. What advice do I have people going through inner hate or internalized homophobia or toxic masculinity? Well, first of all, look at your situation. Are you safe? Are you okay? Those are my first concerns. Are you safe? Because I was safe, but I was afraid. Now, look at what you're doing to protect yourself. Is it hurting someone else? If it is, correct your course. Find a way that you can get the focus off of yourself without hurting someone else. It is possible. I've learned to do it. Seek help. Be the best you can be in this situation. And if you're scared, it is okay. If you feel threatened, be as safe as you possibly can. Because once you get out of that situation, I'm not saying that it will get better, but at least you'll be safe. Well, yeah. With that being said, I hope you found this video I hope you got something out of my story. This is my story. I still have a lot to go, and I have a lot of apologies to make. I have a lot of things I need to dive into, a lot of dark things I need to dive into, but it will come. It will come. Healing is a lifelong process, and you cannot do all of it overnight. And the only way we can dismantle toxic masculinity and dismantle internalized homophobia is if you do the work you need to do, and I'm doing my work the best I can. Everyone needs to do their own work and learn to ask for help when needed. Now, yeah, I really hope you got something out of this video. What it is, I wouldn't know, but yeah, if you'd like more videos like this, please consider liking, subscribing, and hitting that little notifications bell down below, and add a comment and tell me about your experiences with internalized homophobia or toxic masculinity. Tell me about what you're doing to break it down. Tell me what you're doing to help you move forward. And just tell me, just tell me your experiences. If you're starting the journey, or if you've been on this journey, let me know. I'm always looking for ideas and advice. With that being said, thank you for coming along this journey with me. This is my way, Nathan's way. Bye.